Thank you.
You're welcome. Glad it worked. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Mayor and Council for Monday, March 7th, 2016. Time is about 8:10 p.m. Can I please ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silent prayer? And could I please ask our Borough Administrator, Mr. Negrin, to lead us in salute to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been made by sending notice on December 18, 2015 to the Ridgewood News and the Record, by positioning on the bulletin board in the lobby of the Borough Hall, and following a notice of same with the municipal clerk. I would like to remind all members of the public that we have 3 fire exits in our council chambers, 1 on each side of the dais and 1 in the rear. In addition, we are being recorded by both audio and video for purposes of creating a record during the public portion of the meeting. If any member of the public wishes to be recorded or heard, they need only identify themselves for the record, and they may make a statement or ask any question they would like. Roll call, Madam Clerk, please.
Councilman Acapulco?
Present.
Councilman Bonaloni?
Here.
Councilwoman Speed? Here. Councilwoman Davis?
Here.
Councilwoman Murphy is out today. Councilman Papaleo?
Here.
Mayor Mignon?
Here.
And Paul Massaro is not present, but is replaced by Mr.
Monahan. Can I please have a motion for the approval of minutes of the Mayor and Council work session and regular meeting of February 16, 2016?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Proclamations and awards. We have 2 proclamations tonight. Which one? So the first proclamation tonight is declaring the month of March 2016 as Women's History Month, and we've invited 2 well-respected and well-renowned women in the history of River Edge. We have Mary Donahue and former Mayor Peg Watkins. Mary, if you don't know her, was the first female council person in River Edge. She was a freeholder among a litany of other accomplishments. She now serves on the Historic Newbridge Landing Commission. Peg Watkins served for 10 years as a council person before being elected to mayor. And when I was looking at the roster of the mayors, only 3 people since 1894, when the incorporation of Riverside/River Edge, only 3 mayors have served 3 terms. First was Mr. Broll, who served non-consecutive terms, but he didn't serve 12 years. Mr. Zabriskie, Mr. Bogart, who was mayor for, I believe, 22 years. And then Peg Watkins, who's the only mayor elected to 3 consecutive terms since 1894. So we have 2 well-respected and well-accomplished women, and I'm very proud to be able to get this proclamation to them this evening, and I'll read it for the record. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways, and whereas American women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of the life of the nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas American women have played a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force of the nation. And whereas American women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions in our nation. And whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. And whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which create a more fair and just society for all. And where despite these contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in the literature, teaching, and study of American history. Now therefore be it resolved that I, as Mayor of the Borough of River Edge, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2016 as Women's History Month.
Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, my pleasure. Mayor, thank you so much. Very well deserved. We couldn't have better representation tonight. I'm very proud of you here.
All these young girls were going to be...
Exactly. Exactly.
And mayors.
Future mayors.
Mayors.
So Mayor, we have one for you, and Mayor, we have one.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come back.
I think that would be wonderful. We'll be standing there. We'll put you between the two of us. How's that?
Murphy is the
Picture taker.
unofficial, self-proclaimed.
Yes. The happenings of River Edge.
Yeah.
Well, we're young. Too late. We're young.
Too late.
Okay, we also have a proclamation tonight declaring the week of March 6th to 12th, 2016 as Girl Scout Week, and I know we have a lot of Girl Scouts and some leaders, so maybe I'll just come down and we can read the proclamation from the floor.
I remember her husband. Very nice guy. Tall.
Yep. His son is too. He lives up in
But I still live in
Yeah. We just did
Mayor,
work on that.
invite them into the open space.
Wait,
I think
over
they'd
here,
enjoy
come
it.
Mr. Bartolo, you can come up here also.
No, it's okay. I'll be right back.
So free, don't
Get
come
out
up.
of the way.
Wednesday, I'll probably do results. I know December.
Okay, the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas throughout the long history of Girl Scouts, certain traditions remain meaningful and important and are still practiced today. And whereas it is every year, the week containing Girl Scout birthday, March the 12th, is bookended by celebrating the connection between Girl Scouts and their faith. And whereas Girl Scout Week begins this Sunday before, March 12th, a day known as Girl Scout Sunday, and extends through the Saturday following March 12th, a day known as Girl Scout Sabbath. And whereas the Girl Scout birthday on March 12th commemorates the day in 1912 when Juliet Gordon Lowe officially registered the organization's first 18 girl members in Savannah, Georgia, and this year represents the 104th birthday. And whereas since its founding in 1912, Girl Scouts has enjoyed the support of religious organizations, and together they have enriched the spiritual lives of Girl Scout members, each of whom strives for the perspective of their own personal belief to live up to the Girl Scout promise and law. Now therefore be it resolved that I, as Mayor of the Borough of River Edge, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim March 6th through 12th, 2016 as Girl Scout Week. Congratulations. So, who can tell me or do the Girl Scout promise for me? Come on, let's do this group.
All right. Here it goes. All right, we're going to start it off. On my honor,
I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law.
Great. Earlier we were talking about
Yes.
the Scouts in general. It's such a strong institution in River Edge, from the Cub Scouts, the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Brownies, successes all over the board. We had, as mentioned at the work session, that Kira who just received her Gold Award, and we're going to have her come to a future council meeting. We routinely get invited to Eagle Courts of Honor, and I also mentioned how River Edge had 2 Cub Scout packs placed second and third place in the Three Rivers Klondike Derby this last February, or this last month. So, Scouting is a strong institution in the borough. We're glad to see all these girls involved. We know what a great group it is, and the leaders who put the time and effort to keep it going. So we're very appreciative. The mayor and the council always welcoming to recognize the Scouts for any achievement they make. It really is something we're very proud of in town. So girls, keep up the good work. We look forward to seeing you advance through the ranks, and thanks for coming tonight.
Yes. And so is...
I promise I'll get Daddy home early tonight.
And Mommy.
Yes. Okay, can I have a motion to open the meeting to the public for comments on any issue on the agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anybody have any questions or comments about a specific agenda item this evening? There'll be another opportunity for general comments or questions later on in the meeting. This is just pertaining to agenda items. Seeing none, a motion to close the hearing to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Appointment of personnel changes. Can I please have a motion to approve the salary increase for John Moundy Jr., part-time police dispatcher, from an hourly probation rate of $15.74 to Step 1, Schedule B hourly rate $18.60, effective July 1, 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Can I please have a motion to approve the appointment of Christopher Bolton, 34 Coles Avenue, Hackensack, to the River Edge Volunteer Fire Department, effective March 8, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I don't believe Mr. Bolton is here. We do have a oath. I'll give it back to you, Stephanie. We'll call Mr. Bolton to come in. Thank him for his service. Can I please have a motion to approve the retirement of Mark Hill, Crossing Guard and Police Reserve, effective May 1, 2016.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Can I please have a motion to approve the reinstatement of Peter Stitz to the River Edge Volunteer Fire Department, effective December 22nd, 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And I'm making a mayor's appointment. I'm appointing Michael Cray, 879 Park Avenue, as alternate 1 to the planning board to fill the unexpired term of William Haggis to December 31, 2016.
So moved.
No.
Oh, no, this is your appointment.
There's various, in the agenda, there's a list of various correspondences and reports that are available for public review at the clerk's office. In addition, you can go to the clerk's office and review monthly reports, traffic and safety from January 2016, the tax collector's 2015 annual statement, Shade Tree Commission report from January 2016, Environmental Commission reports no quorum at their February meeting, Library Board for February 2016, Historic Commission and tax collector reports for January 2016, Library Board for March 2016, and the Recreation Commissioner's Director's Annual Report. And those are available for review through the clerk's office for anybody who would like to go review them. We have an open hearing. This is for transfer of proposed 2015 Trust Fund Municipal Program Grant Award for 2015 Cherry Blossom Community Park Phase 2 project to 2014 Kenneth B. George Park Field Lighting Replacement Project. We had discussed this in work session, and just to recap, the borough had made application to the 2015 Bergen County Open Space Trust Fund for potentially a Phase 2 project at Cherry Blossom Park. The project potentially was budgeted for $190,000. A $140,000 application was made requesting a $70,000 grant and required $70,000 match. The county had indicated earlier that based on reduced allocations to the subregions that we were unlikely to get at most half of our request, and they wanted to know how the borough wanted to proceed in bringing this to the Rec Commission. It was decided that whatever allocation we get this year would be best used by putting it towards the lighting project at KBG, so we have all the funding in place to complete that project this calendar year. The county has asked us to have this hearing. We have to approve a resolution requesting the change in scope as well, and hopefully then we'll be able to reallocate about $37,000 towards the light project this year. So may I please have a motion to open the hearing to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Epifita?
Yes.
Councilman Bartoloni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastides?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
And Councilman Papaleo?
Yes.
Okay, we're open to the public. Anybody have any questions, comments? Yes, Mrs. Curdy.
Michelle Curdy, 193 Wayne Avenue. My concern is the tree farm. What will happen to the tree farm? With no money going to the park, where's the money going to come from for the tree farm?
This was not for operating funds for the park. This was just funding that would have went to implement the new phase. Whatever maintenance costs or maintenance items that are in either John Lynch's DPW budget or through the open space allocation, the funding's still in place for maintenance of all the parks, including Cherry Blossom Park.
Okay. So as far as the park goes, nothing will technically be done to it this year? Is that correct? In other words, Phase 2 will not be
Correct.
Correct.
done at all?
Correct.
Now, what are the hopes for next year?
I would leave that up to the council when the time comes to make application next year.
Now, forgive my ignorance. So next year comes, and myself as beautification chairperson, can I request money for the park to have Phase 2 done? Or is that?
You could certainly ask for, as a,
Purview of the rec
yes,
commission.
well, yes,
There.
yes, it is.
So
Mr. Negrin is correcting me, saying that it would have to go through the Rec Commission, and the Rec Commission can either make it as a capital request or they can make it as an open space request. The council could also bring a request up separately if they want to also, either as a capital request or put it under open space also. So there's different options available budget-wise going forward. The question is making sure that you have a project that can be funded within the financial resources available.
And this year, the Recreation Commission made a determination that the lighting at KBG was their top priority.
Well, particularly since the county gave us money in 2014 for this very same project, and then we should have probably, 2015 should have been the follow-up to that, and the project could have been done, but we missed a year. So I think, with this allocation, the light project should be hopefully completed this calendar year, and then we certainly could make whatever applications going forward, either through the Bergen County Open Space or the River Edge Open Space, or I said there's always the opportunity for standalone capital projects also.
And one last question. Will you be having some kind of grand opening to the park anytime soon?
Guess that,
I believe the Rec Commission was planning to do so in the spring.
Okay.
At their next meeting, I'll make sure to ask. Or you can certainly ask Bobby, but it was in the plans for the spring.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, could I please have a motion to close the public hearing on the open space funding?
So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Councilman Barnwell,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Bastido.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
And Councilman Papalayo.
Yes.
Good, okay. We have one ordinance on for first reading. Madam Clerk, please read the ordinance by title.
Ordinance 1854, bond ordinance to authorize the engineering design phase of the construction and reconstruction of curbs on existing sidewalks at a portion of Oxford Terrace in, by, and for the Borough of River Edge in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, a sidewalk improvement to appropriate the sum of $5,400 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Alan?
Mayor, if I may, this ordinance will allow the contract to be issued for the design work for the grant that we received through Community Development Block Grant to reconstruct curbs on Oxford Terrace. In addition, it will allow me to place the apartment owner on notice that there will be a special assessment to recoup the design costs from him, as we've done with other Department of Transportation grants and other types of construction work for sidewalks, driveway aprons, and curb work.
And they would have been duly noticed of this meeting this evening, so if they had comment, or they, no, public hearing, they'll get noticed.
No, we will provide them with a copy of the ordinance next, and they can certainly make comment at the
Public
hearing.
Okay. Can I please have a motion to adopt this on first reading, please?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Aquafina?
Yes.
Councilman Barnwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastido.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
And Councilman Papalayo.
Yes.
Okay, we have an ordinance on for second reading, ordinance 1851. Can you please read ordinance 1851 by title, Madam Clerk?
A capital ordinance of the Borough of River Edge in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, authorizing the Kenneth B. George Park Field lighting replacement in said borough and appropriating the sum of $54,320 from Bergen County's 2014 Open Space Recreation Floodplain Protection Farmland and Historic Preservation Trust Fund.
Do you want to...
Mayor, this is the second reading of this ordinance, which anticipates the grant that we're going to receive from the county trust fund, sets up the receivable for that money, and provides the spending authorization.
Can I please have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 1851?
So moved.
Second.
Do we need roll call? Roll call.
Councilman Aquafina?
Yes.
Councilman Barnwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastido.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Papalayo.
Yes.
We're now open to the public. Does any member of the public have a comment or question regarding ordinance 1851? Seeing none, can I please have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 1851?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Aquafina?
Yes.
Councilman Barnwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastido.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Papalayo.
Yes.
And can I please have a motion for the adoption of ordinance 1851?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilman Aquafina?
Yes.
Councilman Barnwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastido.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Papalayo.
Yes.
Very good, okay. We have another ordinance on for second reading, ordinance 1852. Madam Clerk, please read it by title.
An ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank NJSA 48:40-45.14 for the calendar year 2016.
Do you want to just...
Mayor, if I may, this ordinance would allow the mayor and council to establish a 3.5% increase in spending authority. The state generally sets it based on the cost of living index, but has established a 0% this year. By the council passing this ordinance, we would be able to go to 3.5% and establish a cap bank. I must say that councils in the past several years have not even come close to utilizing the full percentage amount and have been able to bank the difference for additional spending flexibility. This does not mean that you will spend this money, it just provides some additional budget flexibility should you need it now or in the future.
And I think I mentioned this at introduction, that, I mean, the legislature really put all the towns at a disservice by giving you a choice of 0 or 3.5. The whole cap bank process, I don't believe, is a very good way to control local spending or property taxes, and the fact that we have to make a choice between either a 0 increase in our budget or going up to 3.5% shows that something's wrong with the process. But we have to do the prudent thing in this case and go with the higher level, although generally would be inclined to go at a lower level. But like I said, 0 is not anything that we were going to be able to realistically deal with this year. So can I please have a motion to open this public hearing on ordinance 1852?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Capito?
Yes.
Councilman Barnwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastiz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
And Councilman Papaleo?
Yes.
Any member of the public wish to comment or have a question regarding ordinance 1852, the cap bank? Seeing none, can I please have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 1852?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Capito?
Yes.
Councilman Barnwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastiz? Yes. Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
And Councilman Papaleo?
Yes.
And can I please have a motion for final adoption of ordinance 1852?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Capito?
Yes.
Councilman Barnwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastiz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Papaleo?
Yes.
Thank you. One more ordinance on for second reading. Ordinance 1853, Madam Clerk, please read it by title.
An ordinance to amend ordinance 1848 to fix the salary, wage, and compensation of the officers and employees of the Borough of River Edge in the County of Bergen in the State of New Jersey for the year 2016.
This is general salary.
Mayor, this is an ordinance to amend our salary ordinance for the prosecutor. The mayor and council have decided to provide a slight increase to make it market competitive, and this ordinance would allow that increase for the prosecutor to occur.
Can I please have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 1853?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Capito?
Yes.
Councilman Barnwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastiz? Yes. Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Papaleo?
Yes.
Does any member of the public have any question or comment regarding ordinance 1853? Seeing none, can I please have a motion to close public hearing on ordinance 1853?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilman Capito?
Yes.
Councilman Barnwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastiz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Papaleo?
Yes.
And I please have a motion on final adoption of ordinance 1853?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilman Capito?
Yes.
Councilman Barnwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastiz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Papaleo?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, well, now we're up to our consent agenda. We have resolution 16-100 through 16-139. Would any member of council like any individual resolution pulled out for separate motion
Yes.
or consideration? Yes, Councilwoman.
16-132 and 16-133.
Anything else? We'll act on those first. Can I please have a motion with regard to Resolution 16-132, authorizing the mayor to sign agreement with River Edge Superior Officers Association?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilman Capito?
Yes.
Councilman Barnwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Abstain.
Councilwoman Bastiz?
Yes.
Councilman Papaleo?
Yes.
And can I please have a motion regarding Resolution 16-133, authorizing the mayor to sign agreement with River Edge PBA Local 201?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilman Capito?
Yes.
Councilman Barnwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastiz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis,
Abstain.
and Councilman Papalato.
Yes.
Can I please have a motion to approve resolutions 16-100 through 16-139, exempting 16-133 and 132?
One other,
Oh, did you want?
just 16103. I don't know if Councilwoman Davis needs to abstain from that as well. I don't know if she was getting the LoSAP for the ambulance corps.
Well,
If she-
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just so.
Would you like to make that motion separately then, Council?
Yes, I would. For 16103 to be read separately.
Second.
And this is for certifying the Revis LoSAP list, which
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis is a member. Okay.
Getting the LoSAP.
Yeah.
More.
We have a motion second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilman Estrella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ballmer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deschutes? Councilman Papalato?
Yes.
And Councilwoman
Abstain.
Okay, now, a motion for resolution 16-100 to 101, 102, 104 through 131, and 16-134 through 139.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. Can our finance chair please read and move resolution 16-140, payment of the bills?
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas vouchers for the payment of goods and services rendered to the Borough of River Edge have been received, and whereas each bill has been checked by the receiving department, approved by the Chief Financial Officer and Borough Clerk, and reviewed by the 3 members of the Finance Committee. Now therefore be it resolved that bills as listed now be confirmed for payment from the appropriate funds as follows. Current account, $1,283,912.23. Capital account, $39,770.81. Recreation account, $2,376.41. Animal welfare account, $195.60. Open space account, $540. Trust other account, $3,895.26. Trust other developers account, $338.75. Be it further resolved that claims read and approved by the governing body at council meeting will be dated the day after the reading of those claims and will appear on the following bill list at the next public meeting of the mayor and council, at which times claims would be paid. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, can I please have a motion to open the hearing to the public on any item of concern?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now open to the public again for comments, questions on anything under the sun. Michelle? Lou? All right, no comments from the public. May I have a motion to please close the hearing to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Council comments? Councilwoman Steve?
Yes, actually, I do have some comments tonight. Use this opportunity to do some committee reports since we're not doing them on a regular basis. Just remind everyone that registration for the Recreation Commission-sponsored River Edge Run is open, and the River Edge Run is going to be held Saturday, April 23rd, along with the Fun Run for the Children and the Health Walk sponsored by the Municipal Alliance. This year you can register online, so please consider doing so if you plan to register. I want to give an update on some things happening with the Board of Health. The Board of Health was advocating for the installation of a prescription drop box through Division of Consumer Affairs, and the River Edge Police Department has been a good partner in helping us get there. We have an update from the chief that we're getting closer to being able to have one of those prescription drop boxes installed in Borough Hall, which will provide our residents with 24-hour anonymous ability to drop any unwanted prescriptions, and I think that's a very positive step. I want to thank the Board of Health for bringing that forward and the Police Department for helping to make that happen. Look forward to a date in the near future.
It's also 10 points recertification for sustainable tourism.
Yes. Another item that the Board of Health has been advocating for, and I want to thank the Chief for seeing its merit, is providing the force with mental health first aid training. And the chief and the public health nurse are working together to schedule a date and the appropriate trainer to do that, so the entire River Edge Police Department force will be trained in mental health first aid, which is another very important thing, since the police are often the first line of defense called in cases of mental illness, and that'd be a very positive step. So thank you to the Board of Health and the chief for helping to move that forward. The Stigma-Free Initiative, I just wanted to bring the council up to date. Last May was when we recognized River Edge as a stigma-free community. There have been several residents that have been meeting on a somewhat regular basis to talk about what it is they'd like to see that initiative mean for the borough. And one of the things that they have agreed is that trying to work collaboratively with the Riverdale School District is very important as far as we see mental health, addiction as a mental health issue. Our public health nurse and a member of that Stigma-Free Initiative did meet with the Riverdale Superintendent of Schools and the Riverdale Middle School Principal last week to introduce the Stigma-Free Initiative to them and look at ways that we can partner in the future and become an active, try to play an active role in the Riverdale school community. I've also talked with Councilwoman Schoenberg in Oradell. Oradell is also a stigma-free community, and since the high school is in Oradell and the middle school is in River Edge, we want to make sure that we try to cooperate on our efforts to move the Stigma-Free Initiative forward and provide any type of support we can regarding addiction to that community. So we're making some important progress, I think, and I'm proud of the Police Department, the Board of Health, and the Stigma-Free Group for really taking this task on for the borough.
Appreciate your efforts in spearheading it on behalf of the council also.
It's my pleasure.
Councilman Bartolone?
Thank you, Mayor. Just briefly, I guess, I always think it's when we introduced the 2016 budget today, and it's a lot of work, a lot of hours, and it kind of just goes in very, very unnoticed generally.
It's a whimper.
In like a lion, out like a lamb really does apply sort of to the budget. Because you spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, months of planning and working, and then it just sort of, it's a resolution and gets mixed in with the consent agenda, if you're not paying attention. This year, I really think there was a strong team effort on this to get this done. It was not easy. I think if everybody looks at the original numbers, they were, I don't know what, the original tax increase when we first got it was several hundred dollars. I mean, it was up there. Capital requests were around $2 million, I think, something like that. So it took a lot of effort, and like I said, I really think we did it together. So I'm proud of that effort. I wish we had more questions from the public about it, though.
Well, I guess they're...
because like I said, it just goes...
Once the information is out, they may come forward.
They may.
I think, to your point, the overall appropriations increase was less than 1%.
Yeah.
The tax levy was probably just under 2%, 1.5%. Not perfect, but certainly very good, and particularly when you look at the last 3 or 4 years where we've been able to keep the budget in line, despite all the outside pressures from the one thing I keep bringing up every year. Our sewer bill went up $50,000 just in and of itself this year. $50,000. That's a third of a tax point just for the sewer increases, and that's not. We were fortunate that there were less increases on the pensions and the health benefits. We always have salary pressures we're dealing with, and again, we've got to commend the department heads. Operating budgets don't go up, and if they do, it's very, very slight. People are still working with budgets that were probably dollar for dollar that they were spending at least 10 years ago, and the chief probably can attest to that. So yes, I think it's a great job for our CFO and department heads and all the employees on down, and certainly members up here who put their time and effort and made sure, with the help of the Citizens Budget Committee, I think they were very proactive this year in engaging us and making sure that we're exploring the best way to deliver services and to save dollars as much as possible. So I echo your comments, Councilman, and
Yeah, and just...
hopefully, the other unheralded success, and something you had a lot to do with in your first term, was the surplus, the policy. Surplus was $2.5 million this year. I mean, we haven't seen that number in many, many years. And we're not quite where Mr. Negrin's smiling yet, maybe next year. But I would hasten to say that I'm sure cash flow is better than it had been in past years. And, you know, we've been very restrained in the amount of money we've used for surplus. Again, I guess for the fifth year, we've used only $425,000 out of that potential $2.5 million for tax relief. Now, there'll be the argument saying that we should have used more, but the policy says that we need to achieve certain targets before we can start bringing that back to the taxpayers. And I think next year, if we keep the rest of the spending as tight as we did this year, we'd be able to put a little bit of more of that money back towards the taxpayers, and hopefully, if we don't see a zero, a slight decrease would be wonderful. At least, I think, you know, that's the direction I've been hoping to get since I first got on this council. And, you know, it's in sight, and you said it hasn't been easy. It doesn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen by magic or by happenstance. It took a lot of hard work, and the debt policy and the surplus policy and the work of the department heads has certainly, you know, helped us reach this state where we are today, where I think we have a sustainable budget and a solid fiscal foundation to build on. So I'll leave the comments at that. So, anything else, Councilman? Sorry. I didn't mean
No,
to
it's
interrupt
okay.
your thunder.
That's all right. Just
something that a vested interest in, and I'm very proud of
Yes.
the way the town has come back financially.
And as you should be. Just congratulations to the Girl Scouts, obviously, and to former Mayor Peg Watkins and Mary Donahue for accepting the Women's History Month. You know, just it's an important issue, obviously. At home, we try and stress women in history to my girls, especially Abigail. We tell her that she was named after Abigail Adams, which is actually true. I was reading the autobiography of John Adams when she was born, and I stressed to her really that, you know, she was his really advisor, and you know, very strong presence. And we do try and focus on that at home, instilling that in them. So. Congratulations to all our proclamation getters today. So.
I guess she's lucky you weren't reading Lady Bird Johnson's biography that night, or Lady Bird.
No. Yeah. No, I was reading John Adams at the time.
Councilman Papaleo.
I'd like to concur with everything that's Councilman Steve said, that Councilman Barloni said, and what the mayor said, especially about the budget. It was more than teamwork. It was, I don't want to call it a bipartisan effort, because I don't believe it was. I think it was a nonpartisan effort. We crafted a budget based on the needs of River Edge and the resources and revenue that seemed appropriate. It was a practical budget, and the Citizens Budget Committee really was, I think, a big help. And I'm equally proud of what we've all done. I'd like to, I had a report to give, and I'm afraid I did not give it in February as requested by Fire Chief Eric Schultz, so I'd like to do that now. Chief Schultz would like to thank the mayor and council for attending his open house on January 9th, and he hoped that we all had a great time. During the past, the fire department during the past blizzard, which would have been before February 1st, where he really sent me this, the River Edge Fire Department had a standby for any emergency calls, as the roads were so bad. Company 1 stood by from 9 a.m. Saturday morning till 12 a.m. Sunday morning, which is a phenomenal commitment from our volunteers. A total of 15 hours, and answered 1 fire call, a CO detector, and responded to 2 ambulance calls as they went out to help the ambulance during the major storm to make sure they carried through the snow and shoveled the path. Company 2 stood by from 9 a.m. Saturday morning to 12 a.m. Sunday morning, and then returned later that morning with 2 crews for a total of 15 hours, and they responded to 3 calls, a CO detector, 1 ambulance call for a woman whose water broke. Her husband took her to the emergency before the emergency personnel arrived. Company 2 went back on Sunday morning with 2 crews for another 2.5 hours to dig out fire hydrants for a total of 17.5 hours. New engine number 3 is now in service. An old engine number 3 should be leaving, or did leave, sometime as the new owners picked up the old engine. The fire department is hoping to work with the code enforcement and having people dig out fire hydrants in front of their own homes so the firemen don't have to do that. Company 1 had to postpone a drill for training just to go out and dig out fire hydrants in case there was a house fire, so this was a safety issue. And that's it from Chief Schultz. As for the other liaisons I have, there is no major report to make at this time.
Thank you. Councilman Alfredo.
Just continuing to associate with all the good wishes and kudos for the budget. Specifically, I want to thank the Citizen Committee because, as we see, due to the very scant participation of the public, they in fact became our public throughout the process. And I also want to thank Councilwoman Mary Davis for joining in progress, so to speak, and giving us their expertise as well. It's a good budget. It's a budget like that has no color except the color of River Edge, and I just hope that we can continue along these lines for future years. On a more things to do, I'm happy that we restarted the community center efforts, and the biggest difference is that we are now going to be dealing with a building that we can afford, and a building that will also afford us the possibility of expanding it in the future based on a design that's not there, that hasn't been shown yet. And of course there will be debated and reviewed by subcommittee first and then brought forth to the council. We're not going to get everything we thought we were going to get, but certainly the instructions given to the architect were simple in the sense of coming up with a finalized program that hits all the major spots in terms of requirements, needs. These are not wants, these are needs, because we don't have anything, so it's a need. It's very simple. This one is very simple. And I'm eager to attend meeting number 2, the 24th of this month, go through that, and then even go into possibility of engaging this firm or maybe another firm to do a comprehensive status report of the DPW buildings, so we know which way we have to go. And I thought there was another study, but not the library, because we're going to try to fold the library into the community center programming. So kind of you'll be killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
The other issue was the pistol range.
The pistol range, I'm sorry, yeah, that was the other. So we can move also on those fronts with a minimum of expense. And of course, we haven't requested any proposals yet, but the intention is there. Schools, at least Riverdale, the big house, their meetings are always in conflicts with our meetings. I think there is one coming up where we're not in conflict, so I'll make every effort to go to at least 2-3 meetings a season, which is what I've been doing. But we have to see also Mr. Fletcher's intentions as far as continuing as the superintendent for the schools, because his mandate is over this year, and he has to notify the board, and then the board has to notify him on what they plan to do. But that's not known yet. It's just I go by what I remember how I left things off 4 years ago. Well, we're at the end of that run as well, and I certainly hope that he stays. That's about it. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Davis.
I would also like to compliment everybody on the budget process. I had been warned by many, many people, wait until you see this horror. And I thought it went so well, and I was really educated by, the process, and it was great. And I agree with you, Ed, not Ed, I'm sorry, Al, that everybody was working together, and it was really a nice thing. As far as the Green Team, they did not have a meeting in February, and we are having a meeting on the 15th of March. I did get an email today from Bonnie Stewart asking, she's working on recertification for Sustainable Jersey, so she asked for a number of items, documents that they need. So I did give the list to Stephanie, and she's going to email them to them. So, and I will be at the meeting. I'm not sure, my name is down for SCORE. I'm afraid if I go there, they'll just think I'm a new member. So I don't know what the process is. Do you just go there? Do you, I don't know.
Just show up.
Monday,
Just show up and say I'm not joining, but
It's not
It's not formal.
all the time, whatever.
Mondays or Tuesdays.
just
Yeah,
to
just-
show your face.
Yeah, just go see what they're doing.
Okay. I'll try to fit that in one of these days.
Yes.
Okay, that's it for me.
Well, I
Yes.
got one thing. I think we all did. I really want to thank Alan and Geeta and Stephanie for their support during the budget, because they are one reason that makes our job easier. I mean, and I'm not a financial man, but just the fact that I could understand the multitude of charts that were presented, and as well as the presentation done on the board, that goes a long way, and certainly takes a lot of the guesswork out of us. So thank you.
Thank you for those kind words. Yes, and
Here, here.
yeah, Alan, no, and since I've been on the finance committee since I first came on the council, and I mean, I go back and forth with Alan a lot on the budget stuff. He never, as much as I can read his face, that sometimes he's wondering why I'm asking for certain information, but he always provides whatever I need, and Geeta's always able to pull together the backup that we need. Stephanie is always hunting through all documents and minutes or whatever else I need. So yes, I think obviously without having that kind of support, it would not have been a smooth and as a good process as it winds up being. So yes, Alan, it's well deserved, because he.
Yes, definitely.
And I think this year went very well with the screen. Maybe next year we'll even have more technology.
We'll have the laptops next
So,
year.
but I think no, very
good.
overall. I have just one other comment. I had asked the chief to come tonight. I was anticipating there might have been some either public concerns or public comments, or even from the council, about the issue we had last week at Riverdale regarding the issue with the bomb threats. And I know there were some concerns raised by parents about the way the whole incident was handled. So if the chief could just maybe just give the council an overview of what happened that day and tell us what went right, because I think a lot of things did go right.
Thank you, Mayor. The Riverdale High School, amongst I believe 7 other locations throughout North Jersey, received bomb threats on Friday late morning, approximately 11:30 a.m. It was determined that later that these calls came by way of an automated phone call. Where that generated is still pending further investigation, but suffice it to say, the school was notified that there was a bomb on the premises, and they immediately made the appropriate notifications and activated an evacuation of the building. In very, very short order, when you mentioned what went right, the primary function of clearing the building of approximately 1,100 people and moving into a safe location happened extremely quickly and without any safety or concerns for any of the parties involved. Once that had taken place, command posts were set up at both the high school and the evacuation location. In this instance, it happened to be the middle school, and Oradell Police Department was the lead agency as Riverdale High School was the recipient of the threat. Bomb detection dogs as well as technicians from the Sheriff's Department responded, and they cleared the building as being safe for return of the students and staff approximately an hour later, which was an incredibly quick resolution to the incident. The one failing in the entire process was the number of parents of the high school students who, in response to text messaging that was sent directly by the student body to their parents, advising the parents what was taking place, the parents responded to the middle school location and began demanding that the students be released to them. What occurred in the interim, Oradell Police sent out a nixle message stating what had taken place in terms of the initial threat, and then very shortly thereafter sent out an additional message that the threat was determined to be a hoax and that the building was safe and the children were being returned to the high school. At the middle school and high school, there was a standing policy in place that parents had been notified in the event of an emergency where the school was either evacuated or locked down. Parents were to ignore any text messaging or emails they may receive from their students and should wait for notification from the school or the police departments concerning what actions would be taken on their part in terms of picking up the children from the location where they would be ultimately released. I spoke to Superintendent Fletcher over the weekend at length about the entire scenario, and additionally he's going to be calling a meeting to meet with Oradell Police, River Edge Police, and the school officials involved. And in short, the school has the capability and is set up to provide last messaging, if you will, either through reverse 911 calls, text, or email messaging to the concerned parents. And that was really the failing in this incident. Superintendent Fletcher was out of town on business when this transpired, and in his absence, unfortunately, the message had not been sent out reminding the parents to stay put and wait for further instructions. Additionally, I've set up some protocols with Superintendent Fletcher, some of them being reminders about prior plans that are already put in place, and some of them slight changes in plans moving forward, having to do with the location where the students and staff are received, to ensure that the parents don't get through to that location. And that was really the primary problem. And I think by addressing these two issues on the part of the superintendent's office, that can be rectified. And just in summary, I think the primary purpose of getting the kids to safety in this, or in the event of a real emergency, is of paramount importance, and that did go flawlessly. And I congratulate the efforts of both the Oradell Police Department that set up the primary command post and the River Edge officers under my command that assisted with that, the checkpoint set up around the school to ensure safe approach of emergency vehicles and other first responders went without incident. And I'm comfortable that in both this situation as in any drill, you learn something about protocols moving forward, and we take every opportunity to learn from these situations and improve on them.
And there was just one other thing I brought up to the chief, and maybe when you have your meeting with the schools and with Oradell PD, is we do need some protocols and some consistency with regard to the nixle messaging, because Oradell sent out a nixle alert, and River Edge parents did not receive or didn't know why we didn't get a parallel one. And I understand that in these situations things are fluid, and nixle may not be number one priority, but I think there needs to be a protocol in place that if Oradell PD is sending out a message, we need to be consistent sending out a message to, or decide before that we don't send it, or at least, I said, or mirror their image, or mirror their message, so our residents don't feel that either we're not being as proactive as Oradell, or they're not getting the same level of information that they think they should be getting. So,
I did
and
think-
since that's our only
Yeah.
tool available right now for instant messaging people per se, I think it would be good to have some kind of consistency.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I thought of the Nixle message from Oradell as being, very concise and to the point, and it was released in a very timely manner. It was my impression that, most of the parents who would have subscribed to Nixle and also had an interest with, children in the Riverdale school system where they'd be attending, Oradell would receive messages on the Oradell system as well. My Nixle account is set up that way, and I had been led to believe that most of the people that were set up for Nixle would have received similar messaging rather than having that redundancy. Not that the redundancy in this case would have harmed anything. A companion message, as I said, it wouldn't have hurt as long as it was formulated with the same information, so something we could look at moving forward.
That's it, thank you. Any other questions for the chief?
It was very bad press on Facebook
Well-
about them not knowing what, no, but I'm just saying it was parents. It was the
Yeah.
parents.
There, just as an example of, there was one parent that stood toe-to-toe with one of my officers and refused to leave the middle school building because she wanted to deliver a coat to her daughter. She was concerned that the daughter would have to walk the 2 blocks back to school in 40-something degree weather without her coat. So, our concerns were certainly not in sync, I guess, at that point.
No, but we can understand this kind of a situation. It can be very emotional, and we all know that the police and everybody else have protocols and know how to handle these situations, but at the end of the day, you're talking about your own children, and you want to make sure that they're safe.
Everything.
So, how do you balance it? I mean, like, even I was talking to one parent who said, well, I should be able to go get my kid. I said, well, that's fine if there's a protocol in place that they know that person now is removed, and now how do you track that so-and-so left, so there's all kinds of protocols in place, and I think that there's certainly we certainly can tighten up procedures, like you say, and I think there's always 360 reviews when you have these kind of situations, and I think that, like you said, it's good that these are not real situations, and you get to learn where you can make improvements going forward. And I'm confident, I know you will, and I'm sure that Superintendent Fletcher wants to have the best protocols in place, as does the Oradell PD. So I think, it's something that's always going to be improved upon, and I think going forward, it'll be better than this time. Yes.
Can I just ask a question of the chief? Councilwoman Davis mentioned that on Facebook there was a lot of discussion. Did you ever receive a phone call from anyone after, a resident after this incident happened, to ask you about protocol, or did anyone come to you? Do you have a open door, or what's your policy of receiving calls from residents if they had questions after the fact to, allay some of the concerns they
I received no such calls, and I would have
It's
responded to
amazing.
each one
And they were
directly.
saying nobody knows what they're doing up
And
there.
if they had called the police department, dispatch or someone would have been available to answer their
Of course.
questions.
Yes, and the parents, I mean, this is anticipated, and it's well understood that the parents are going to have, a degree of concern, and I don't say that it's misplaced, but they also have to have some reliance in the fact that the schools and the police departments have addressed these incidents in advance, that the school took the steps of notifying the parents about these very incidents in advance to prepare for such incidents, and the only safety concerns that actually arose as a result of the incident were caused by parents blocking the roadways on Woodland Avenue, for example, with responding vehicles, which actually created a safety concern by prohibiting emergency vehicles from being able to get through. That and the mass of people that were, trying to press forward into the school created a safety concern, and you have to look at it from an emergency response point of view, that in this situation, real or, as this turned out to be, a hoax, the parents being on the scene demanding to, remove their children, it's not something that can be done in the case of an emergency. The police do have control of the scene at that time, and it's not reasonable or safe to have individual release of children to the parents at the scene of a evacuation, or, for that matter, to have additional people coming into the building who aren't being checked and vetted. When you think about the condition of the school during the day, the school is locked and closed, and parents that enter are allowed in on an individual basis once they've been cleared by the main office. In a case where doorways are opened up and floods of people are coming in, you don't know who's coming into the building. So, my contention is that was the only safety concern that developed, and that's something that, I hope as a result of this can be conveyed to the parents through the school's additional resources and training that, in this type of situation. And looking back on this as an example, your children were safe at every step of this process, and that was ensured by the authorities that had that responsibility.
Chief, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. However, we have talked about the police making a bigger effort at communicating through Nixle. The last time we had this incident was when I think River Edge Road got shut down due to, I believe it was an accident. The previous incident doesn't matter. The thing of it is that I think more Nixle message is better than less, and I think the council feels the same way. And I think that what the council's looking for, let me speak for myself. What I'd be looking for from the police department is that if notice goes out by the Oradell Police Department, we would also send out notice, so the parents can be reassured that River Edge Police Department is responding to the same degree as Oradell in the case of the Riverdale High School. In addition, I think that maybe if the protocol is not to approach, the parents should not approach the school so that the roadways may remain open for public safety vehicles. That would be a great Nixle message. This incident is occurring. All parents are advised to not approach the school so that the police may conduct safe passage for emergency vehicles, and that parents will be notified by a further Nixle whether there is an all clear or approach to withdraw the children is now permissible. I think that Nixle can really do that, can send that message out, because if even one parent gets it from the River Edge Police Department, then that message will travel for those who don't have Nixle, because they're all in communication with each other. So I think the Nixle message, I understand your thought that it would have been a redundancy, but I really feel that we should be doing that redundancy, and that it would have been an opportunity in the future, and maybe even in that we can, it's something more than making the schools responsible, but we can, when we do get our police department Facebook page up, that protocol can be described on the Facebook page in addition, to whatever degree that's possible.
I'll speak for myself. Nobody sought me out to complain about this incident either. I just happened to see people over the course of the weekend who had raised questions to me. I didn't get any emails. There have been no phone calls.
No. And the chief and I did speak over it again. My question was more, did the chief hear directly from anyone, concerned?
Stephanie, were there calls regarding this?
No, I just had a borough employee call up saying, did you know?
Because I guess the other point is, I don't know, have you been contacted by someone from the town news or something after this?
No. In fact, I spoke to the town news later that afternoon, and just with the blotter entries, and they already had information concerning the school evacuations from that morning, and they were aware that it was a situation very similar to the one that had occurred at about eight additional jurisdictions back in January. So whether they were already running with a story on that, or they didn't request any additional information from me about it.
And just to review for the public who may be watching, any resident can call your office anytime with any concern regarding any issue, whether it's this particular incident or the issue we had regarding burglaries, or whether it's some other issue. They're obviously more than welcome to call your office.
I take it as a primary responsibility of mine to be in touch with the public regarding any of their concerns, and whatever calls not able to return during my workday. Sometimes it's because individuals are at work. I take the opportunity once the workday is over and I'm home between 5 and 7 p.m. I'm often making phone calls, returning calls to people I couldn't reach during the day. So in that respect, I'm more than available.
And maybe we need to put your contact information a little more prominently on the website so people can find the chief and the police department in general if they have questions, or if they want to call back, they can certainly make a request or something that way.
I've never found a shortage of people getting through to me when they want to. I just didn't.
No, I don't believe that's the case, but I just want to make sure that the public again knows that you will certainly respond. And
Absolutely.
I don't like the tenor and the comments that we see on social media, and particularly if there's no way to get the opposite side out there as to what the real issues are and how these should be handled. And it doesn't serve anybody saying that the police are not responding or not doing what we're supposed to be doing. Of course, I've said it countless times up here. The number one priority of local government is the protection of the public. And you have the largest department in the borough. Without the police, everything else doesn't matter. And we know that. I know you as chief, and I know all the members of the department. We have a great department, and you handle the mundane to the extreme professionally and well every time. And I just want the public to, like you said, maybe have more confidence in the abilities of the people we have in place here to do the job that they're here to do. And I said the more we can get communication with the public is always a better thing, but also correcting misinformation when it's out there I think is important also, and that's the job for us as well. So, like I said, I think there are lessons learned, and there will be improvements made as a result of this incident, and hopefully it's nothing that's going to happen again soon. So,
Could I just
You
say
sure?
one more thing? Did you say you had a meeting already, or you're going to have a meeting?
I spoke with Superintendent Fletcher
Yeah, no, but
directly
did you
this
say
weekend.
there were different
and
groups who are
He
gonna-
was going to call a meeting really sometime this week.
I had heard that part of the problem was that many kids went to lunch and they were off.
It
campus,
did
and they ended up
correspond with
going
their...
home, yeah.
It
So
did
I'm just
correspond
saying
with
to
the
bring that
early-
up at the meeting,
Yes.
that there should be some kind of a protocol.
In this particular case, it did occur at one of they have several lunch periods, obviously, to allow everyone a lunch period. They begin quite early in the day, around 11:15.
Right.
But that first group had gone to lunch, and part of the responsibility, and one of the things I was checking on after I checked in at both the middle school and the high school command posts, I was meeting with some of the officers that were on posts surrounding the school and ensuring that they had the message that any students that they saw returning from lunch would be directed away from the high school and to the evacuation point instead. So that was part of the other responsibility of the officers that were on post in the surrounding area.
Anything else for the chief?
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Thank you,
No,
Chief.
thank you all.
Appreciate it, and kept it to the end, but
Not a problem.
appreciate you staying.
Good night.
Good night, Chief.
Good.
Anybody have anything else? If not, we please have a motion to adjourn.
So we'll
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Monahan.
Silence, I'll tell you.